May 20th, 1940. The fields of northern France should have been quiet that spring. Wheat rippled in the breeze, and the sun shone warmly over the canals and villages. Yet, behind the beauty, chaos had arrived. German tanks poured through the Ardennes, rolling over bridges and crushing resistance in days. The French High Command had said the forest was impassable for armored divisions, yet here the panzers came, belching smoke, their treads tearing through roads and fields. By May 20th, the British Expeditionary Force and their French and Belgian allies were trapped. The Channel coast lay behind them, the German army before them, and the noose tightening. A British private, George Harker, scratched a line in his journal that night: "We are being herded like cattle towards the sea." May 24th, 1940. Rain fell softly on the fields near Dunkirk. German tanks sat idle, crews smoking cigarettes and waiting for orders. Then came the bizarre news. They were to halt their advance. Hitler, against his generals' protests, had frozen the panzers just miles from annihilating the Allied armies. Some said he wanted to save his tanks for the south. Others whispered that he trusted the Luftwaffe to finish the trapped men. Whatever the truth, the pause gave the Allies time they should never have had. In the perimeter, British and French engineers laid mines along canals. Riflemen dug shallow foxholes in sodden soil. They knew they were not preparing for victory. They were buying time. May 26, 1940. Warehouses in Dunkirk burned, casting a red glow over the harbor. It was then that Vice Admiral Bertram Ramsay gave the signal from his underground bunker. Operation Dynamo had begun. Across the channel, ships began to slip out of harbors. Not just destroyers, but ferries, fishing boats, yachts, vessels that were never meant for war. Families watched from the English coast as their boats disappeared into the haze, crewed by volunteers who could barely read a compass. Help was coming to the soldiers. On the beaches of Dunkirk, soldiers waited in silence. Some stacked rifles neatly on the sand, others stared at the horizon, praying ships would come. The tide lapped at their boots. The wind was cool but gentle. Merciful weather for now. May 27th to 28th, 1940. At dawn, the sirens began. German Stukas dove from the clouds, their banshee wails echoing across the beaches. Bombs fell among the men lined up in the surf. Sand sprayed like shrapnel. Trucks burst into flames and bodies were thrown into the waves. "Down, down!" officers shouted, though there was nowhere to hide. Soldiers pressed their faces into the sand, clutching helmets as the ground shook beneath them. Still, ships came. Royal Navy destroyers moored at the harbor, long concrete piers jutting into the sea, loading hundreds at a time.